covered up in rust. We drink and we dry up and now we crumble in the dust. We get wet and we corrode and now we're covered up in rust. She was a really cool kisser and she wasn't all that strict of a Christian.
With us a moment.
She was a damn good dancer, but she wasn't all that great of a girlfriend. He likes the one. Feeling, but he's tired of all the dehydration.
All right, my good friends. Well, bear with me just a moment. Okay. So, whilst you all get yourselves comfortable, get a drink or whatever it is you need to do in order to get yourself comfortable, I am just going to ensure that the world knows about what the fuck we are doing by sharing it over Facebook. As I've made some people aware, the Facebook Live function on Zoom has gone a bit funny. So we're doing it over YouTube, and we are all currently live on YouTube. So yeah, bear with me a moment whilst my dial-up broadband tries to work. Bear with me a moment. This, my friends, is what happens when you get the sound man and the promoter to compare as well. So bear with me a second. Here we go. Voila. Right. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, friends, and comrades, I am just allowing everybody into the meeting. How the devil are we? Are we all right?
Hey!
Oh, okay. Good friend. Great.
Sight into that simply unforgettable day. We've got Micah Richards, a former Academy graduate. And
Hello.
Hello.
Who is that?
Hi,
Okay.
Steve.
Steve, great to see you. I'm going to mute everyone. Bear with me a moment. Okay. Yes, welcome one and all to Pumpkin Drublic Poetry. Thank you all ever so much for joining in. Are we all keeping well? We all doing all right? Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I've put you all on mute, so I'll just have to assume that you are. Okay, my good friends, thank you ever so much for joining in. If you're unaware of what Pumpkin Drublic it is the violent collision of poetry and comedy. Tonight, live streamed to your home. And what a momentous occasion it is, for we have a ridiculously good bill this evening. We have a ridiculously good bill in the form of, we have the legendary punk poet Attila the Stockbroker. I'll unmute everyone so we can have a whoop for that. Saboteur Award-winning Glastonbury Festival poet in residence, Mr. Dominic Berry.
Yeah.
We have the wonderful Saboteur-nominated Canadian poet, Rose Kondo.
Yay.
We have the musical comedy extraordinaire, Mr. Steve Gribbin.
Hey.
We have the wonderful, the effervescent, we have the fantastic Darcy Silver. Woo! We have the brilliantly zany musical comedian, Mr. Eddie Hurst.
Hey.
And last but by no means least, we have a Pumpkin Drublic favourite indeed. We have the wonderful Wigan's finest export, apart from Banninghead in P-Wet. Is that, have I pronounced that right? Whatever. We have Sarah Louise Keegan. All round. So we are we are joined from Manchester by me. My name is Rob Stevenson. I'm your host and compere. I call this look Mr. Blobby at a funeral. I'm doing all right. I live on my own, and I deal with depression as well. So now, thanks to social distancing regulations, the only shoulder I can cry on is the hard shoulder on the motorway, and I don't even drive, so
That's it.
that's problematic. But I'm doing okay. I am filled with joy at the spirit of camaraderie and the spirit of solidarity that's filled up the nation, particularly on a Thursday night. I don't know if you're all aware, something that we've been doing in Manchester. I don't know if you are in any other parts of the country. We every Thursday night we have the clap. We love to have the clap on a Thursday night in Manchester. We really do. Yeah, it's really good fun. We do that, of course, for our carers, the amazing NHS workers out there on the front line. We've been doing that, and I think it's important to pay homage as well to all the other workers who are putting in such an incredible effort. People who are just working in shops, people who are there on the front line in different ways. I think it's really important to pay homage to them. And brewers as well, who are filling our bellies with beer. I got a delivery yesterday from Marble Beers, which I'm very pleased about. So yeah, that's so yes. We have an incredible bill this evening, and it comes amidst the world descending into chaos, as I'm sure we're all aware. Kim Jong-un is still alive, it would appear. I don't know quite what to say about that. Donald Trump is also still alive. Don't know quite to say about that. Both of them, of course, met a couple of years ago for that famous meeting in Singapore initially, and then in Pyongyang afterwards. I was really disappointed not to be invited to that. Thought I'd be an ideal candidate to be diplomatic negotiator between the two world leaders, as somebody who has a haircut somewhere between that of Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump. North Korea, say what you will about it. North Korea, it's no coronavirus cases there, no reported coronavirus cases. So there you go. And I've actually got a friend who lives in Pyongyang, and he says he can't complain. So there you go. We might have it worse than they do in other nations. Anyway, moving on swiftly. We've got a lovely contingent of guests in. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the screen to focus on just me. We've just got Steve at the moment. Bear with me a moment. Ah, right, that's right. Me in the spotlight, please. Okay, here we go. Over the lockdown, I have been keeping myself entertained. I'm very lucky, actually. I work for a university. I work in pastoral support in a university, so I work with students with mental health problems, and such is the nature of my job that I have, for the past 8 weeks, been able to work from home. I'm very lucky about that. Lots of performers, lots of poets, lots of comedians are generating online content because, unfortunately, the current situation has been of such an incredible hindrance to their livelihoods. And I would like to encourage you very strongly to follow those comedians and those poets and those performers, but don't do it to me. I'm very lucky. I've got stability. Do it too. Thick Richard is generating content every week. He's doing bedtime stories with Thick Richard. The fantastic comedian Simon Lomas is doing Learn Guitar with Simon Lomas. So give that a gander. And there's loads of other people as well. I'm sure other people give me hints to give other people a plug. So yeah, give that a gander is what I am saying. My day job at the moment is a peculiar situation. Hearing people pour their heart out to me in my abode is a peculiar thing. I work for BIM. I don't know if you're all aware of BIM. BIM is the British Institute of Modern Music. BIM recently got what's called TDAP status, so it became a university. So it will now become the British University of Modern Music. So I'll soon be able to say quite legitimately that my bills are paid by BUM, which is quite the claim to fame. We set up a COVID-19 hardship fund to support students in financial hardship through this tough time. And somebody tried to get us to buy them a shed in it. We bought him the shed. We had to buy him the shed. We can't say no to that, can you? So there you go. I don't know what he wants to do with it, but it's not me to ask. Not for me to ask. So there we go. All right. We will get things started in just a moment. Hello to everybody who's watching us on YouTube and over Facebook as well. We, as mentioned, have a marvellous bill of musical comedy and poetry this evening. It's going to be an absolute blast. But what is more important than anything else is that you remember what this is in aid of. This is in aid of Shoreham Food Bank in the South East and Mustard Tree Homelessness Charity, who Punkin Drublic has been fundraising for 3 years in Manchester. And the homeless population and those rough sleeping, it's all too easy to forget, especially when we're locked up in our homes, that they exist. And they're people who've often had careers, they're people who've had livelihoods, they're people who've had jobs, they're people who've had families, people who've had relationships, and they're people who put their fucking foot in their mouth just like everybody else. Just before the lockdown was put in place, I was walking down Market Street when I heard a chap say to a lady who'd just given him some change, "Thanks, love, you're an angel in disguise." An angel in disguise, as if that was a compliment that would make her day. But there we go. Nonetheless, these are people who very, very much need our support. And it's all too often the people at the bottom of the economic ladder who are least able to self-isolate. It's the people like that who are least able to obtain the kind of support that you need in these tough times. So it's all the more important that we donate to Mustard Tree Homelessness Charity and indeed Shoreham Food Bank in times like this. The link to donate, I have a Just Giving page. It is justgiving.com/Rob-Stevenson-best quizmaster in the land. And also, the Shoreham Food Bank fundraiser is through Attila the Stockbroker, the legendary Attila the Stockbroker. And that is, that's been posted on the Facebook as well. I mentioned a little bit about mental illness before there. I thought I'd provide you with some reassurance. I do lots of things to boost my mental health. I've been running, I do lots of exercise. It's the conventional methods. Were the lockdown not in place, I'd be in the gym. I do really enjoy the gym, though I fucking hate my gym. I live in the city centre, and I go to a 24-hour city centre gym where they have these doors. They don't have staff because that's not needed anymore. They have these doors that open into like a very, very small vestibule. So one opens like this. You crawl into this tiny little vestibule like this, and the other door closes behind you, it catches your bum as you're going through, and then you're stuck momentarily in this tiny little vestibule, and you get in there by typing in your 16-digit code so as not to permit in any stragglers. But I'm terrified. I've never suffered with claustrophobia before. I'm terrified that I'm going to walk into this vestibule and just get sucked up into the air and end up with cancer. I'm not scared of getting sucked off in the gym, though wouldn't be my first choice of locations for getting sucked off. I don't go into the gym and think, oh God, not another blowjob. But just that everything about the bloody gym, the terminology, I don't get any of that, So I went on this machine. I don't know if you're all familiar with this one. I went on this one last time I was in. That one, and this chap comes up to me and says, "Yo, do you want to alternate?" What I thought he was referring to was something whereby I shuffle up on the seat, and we sort of meet in the middle, halfway, like that. Not the case, not the case at all. And also, you know, I'm a person who feels very self-conscious in the gym. I'm a very self-conscious person as it is. I feel particularly self-conscious in the gym, and the last thing I would ever want to do is make the people around me feel self-conscious, particularly the women who go to the gym. The women amongst us will probably know that being stared at inappropriately is not a nice thing to experience. And I'm aware of this. I don't want to do this, but they're there and they're lycra clad and they're glazed in sweat. And I don't look. I don't look. I definitely don't look. I don't. But it takes a lot of effort not to. And I'm there. Don't look, Rob. Wrestling with my bloody eyes. Wrestling with my eyes. And I swear I'm burning off more calories wrestling with my eyes than I am in working out. Anyway, to start off, as you may be aware, this is the violent collision of performance poetry and stand-up comedy. And with that in mind, I am going to start off with a poem. Are we down with that? All right, bloody right. This is a particular type of poem. I'll unmute everyone. Who wants a goddamn poem?
Robert! Yay!
Poem. This one's a very particular kind of poem. It is a univocalism poem. For those who don't know what a univocalism is, a univocalism is a poem that uses only one of the 5 vowels. This one uses the letter A. It's called cashback. 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 Pa. Bank wants that back, man. Catch cash. Pay back what can. Always lay a savvy plan. Back at drab shanty pad. Ants attack man's snack stash. Bad. Chap snacks at saggy salad. Chap casts once, sways at sad ballad. Chap gawps at hard facts a la bank. Wayward chap lays back, blank. Chap asks pal, cash, pff, thanks. Chap's arm fat as chap has had many cry wanks. Chap's pals, chap bland, mank drawl. Twats bark black cab cat calls. Chap falls back flat, drab hallway falls. Can't stand sharp pangs, clasps achy balls. Chap's fantasy walks past. Sassy lash, Natash. Happy Tash snarls sarcasm at chap, taps away black fag ash. Chap walks away abash. Catch all cash, chap says. Catch all cash, chap says. Chap's gaffer grants chap a grand, yay. Plays jazzy tracks all day. Bags Havana vacay. Chap swans away, drag garms, sachet away. Chap's jaw clamps, MDMA. Adamantly, chap starts day. Catch all cash, chap says. Catch all cash, chap says. Thank you very much, my good friends. Thank you very much.
Yay!
Applause is obviously something that's a little bit more difficult to conjure up in the current environment that we're in. So something that I thought...
Keep your questions and your tweets coming in, everybody. We are live, so the guys responding to your questions. I think...
What's that? Who was that? Well, we had someone there. Anyway, yeah, what I've thought to replace applause was we could just use a bit of this. Bit of hip hop air horn. Don't know if the comedians amongst us are down for that, but we'll see. What do you think, Darcy?
It's great.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, without any further ado, we have overrun slightly. As they say, the early bird catches the worm, but the late worm gets to survive. So with that in mind, I'm going to introduce our first act of the evening. She is incredible. She absolutely blew us away at the last Pumpkin Drublic that she appeared at, which was in February 2019. Let raise the roof. Let's ensure that the builders have got some work to do after this lockdown finishes, because we've raised the roofs in each of our fucking houses. Okay, the wonderful, the fantastic Darcy Silver.
Oh, thanks everyone. Well, yeah, first things first, I will tell you that yes, I do look a little bit like someone grabbed hold of Cher, stuffed her into a cannon and blasted her into Michael Jackson. Aware of that. So what have I been up to? I've been doing a lot of online shopping. I've been thinking, look, I'm glad Aldi don't do online shopping. Could you imagine? Because you'd be like, they'd send you a message saying, yeah, I know you ordered like onions, carrots and peas, but we didn't have any of them, but we replaced them with similar items. Here's a steering wheel, some welding goggles and a unicycle. So, yeah, I look forward to eating my welding goggles, Aldi. But a little bit about me. Some people say that I don't come across as confident enough, on stage and stuff. But, let me tell you, as a transgender woman, really the last thing that I need is to be described as cocky. Because I'm not cocky anymore. I actually found out I was intersex recently, genuinely true. XXY, like the full works, totally weird. But it's opened up like a whole new world of discrimination. Because I was in Tesco's the other day trying to buy toilet paper because all the idiots bought it all. And I said to the guy, I said, can you go see if there's any more in the back? He said, yeah, wait here, 2 secs. Who the fuck are you calling 2 secs? So not a fan of Tesco's. Yeah, I will also tell you that according to some people, I am a bit of an extremist. And that's all because I said the people that clap when a plane lands should be marched onto another plane and have it flown into the side of a mountain. Because it's his job, like I've never once got off a bus and stood on the pavement clapping. I never once got out of a taxi, stood there clapping, because they'd bury you in the woods, wouldn't they? But I don't like flying. I don't like pilots. For a start, they always tell you dumb information, don't they? If you noticed, they're always like, ladies and gentlemen, the outside temperature is minus 57 degrees. Well, I'll be sure to make a note of that when I go for a walk on a fucking wing, because it's just ridiculous. No one needs to know. And I don't like pilots because they don't follow the international rule of shotgun, and that annoys me because the rules are the rules. The bastards. But I'm terrified of flying. I'm scared of turbulence. I am. There's nothing worse for me to hear than, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching an area of turbulence. They may as well say, we're all going to die, prepare to shit your pants. Well, there's a few worse things they could say, isn't there, Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you all to my co-pilot, my guide dog, Fluffy. Or, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about the smoke coming from the left engine. It's been doing that all week. Or, ladies and gentlemen, Allahu Akbar. Sorry, I sneezed. Yeah, you shit your pants. But yeah, lockdown's fun, isn't it? It's really, really cool. I'm liking the things that people are like saying online, like the horny guys, like, don't worry about social distancing, love, my dick's 2 meters long. I'm like, sure it is. But it's fun, isn't it, lockdown? And I like the argument to live with my wife. And it's funny what it does to relationships. We argue about the most ridiculous things, like who'd make more money as a prostitute? It's like, she's like, well, I'm blonde. I'm like, really? You were before lockdown started, but I'm not so sure now. Like, well, nobody wants you. You're a monstrosity. I'm like, well, I'm rare. There's less of me. I can charge more. But I've discovered a lot during lockdown. A lot of new things that I've learned. I've done a lot of learning. I've discovered that in this country, it's perfectly legal to have sex with your cousins, which is handy because mine's hot as fuck. He's only 12, but the law is the law. I've learned that. I've learned about my genetics. I did one of those genetic tests, when they swab the side of your mouth and you send the DNA off. Really? And it turns out I'm 100% my Chinese friend called Guan, whose DNA somehow got into my mouth. It's weird. What are the odds? I've discovered a lot. I discovered vegans are all hypocrites. They are. Because, sometimes they'll say, surprise, that wasn't mincemeat, that was corn. But when you say surprise, that wasn't corn, that was mincemeat, they start crying. I'm like, hypocrites. Although I'm a vegan myself. I like vegans because we can't string a sentence together without mentioning the fact we're vegan. Like, I'm vegan Darcy, who's vegan, and I don't eat meat because I'm vegan, like me, vegan Darcy, who doesn't eat meat because vegans don't eat meat, like me, vegan Darcy, and everyone's just like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, which brings me on to my smoke alarm. I've come to the conclusion my smoke alarm is gluten intolerant because every time we make toast, it lets everyone within about a 5-mile radius know about it. I've learned a lot during lockdown. I learned that all men are completely shit in bed. Because you know not one man has ever found my clitoris. How difficult could it be? I discovered my computer was a liar. Yeah, it said meet hot guys in your area. Anyone ever been to Basingstoke? I can't hear you. I'm just going to assume that none of you are from Basingstoke because it'd be really cringy if you were. But yeah, what else have I learned? I've discovered that, you know the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's not strictly true. If you give the horse ecstasy and feed it crisps, it'll drink then. Yeah, bad saying, isn't it? What else have I learned? Discovered this. Did you know the Pope gets to pick his own name when he's made Pope? It's the strangest thing. I only found this out recently. It could be anything, Pope, whatever. But here's the weird thing. There's been 14 Pope Benedicts and not one Pope up toaster. Isn't that weird? Pepperoni pizza. Pope Pie the Sailor Man. That's what I'd like. Or my personal favourite, perpetual child abuse cover-ups. It's weird because I can't read the audience. You might be thinking, oh shit, shut up, Darcy, but I don't know because I can't hear you. Yeah, I like names though. You know, I was thinking, you know, if I was a guy, I'd want to be named Pete, so people do things for my sake. Or Anon, take a lot of credit for things they actually do. Their names are interesting. I was thinking all the people that have been knighted by the Queen over the years, and not one person ever thought to change their name beforehand to circumcised. Just to hear the Queen say, arise, circumcised. Could be funny, wouldn't it? I've been watching a lot of dark films lately because my TV's broken. Yeah, I was watching Big. Do you remember Big with Tom Hanks? Remember that? I was watching that. I was thinking, how differently could that wish have gone? I wish I was big. That, you know, there'd be a film about a 12-year-old boy with a massive penis. Yeah, it probably wouldn't have done very well at the box office, but the Catholic Church would have loved it. Would have done. I've come to the conclusion sex in films isn't realistic. It's not. You know, you never hear, not in there. You don't. You never hear, interesting penis, I've not had cheese since I became vegan. You don't. Yeah, films are strange. My favourite thing growing up was the Sooty Show. Do you remember the Sooty Show? I used to love that. Here's a strange fact about that. You might not know. Did you know Sweep's first name is actually Supermarket? Not many people know that. But yeah, I always felt sorry for Sooty and Sweep, you know, being fisted by Matthew for 25 years. Not Sue though, I doubt he touched the sides of the filthy panda slag. But I didn't deepen Matthew and fill it my eyes, Matthew. No, fuck you, Sue, you whore, bamboo eating bitch. So I don't like Sue very much. I've been watching athletics. I've been watching reruns of athletics. That's how bored I am. I completed Netflix and I'm watching reruns of athletics. It's boring the first time. I don't even like it because there's no notable skill. That's what annoys me. In football, which incidentally I don't like, you can shout, you in the red shorts, kick the ball into that netted opening over there with your feet. But in run it like, what can you say? Run faster. Run faster. You fucked it. You didn't run fast enough. You shit. Go get another job. What can you do? Shouting at them. This is the 100 meters race and you're white. Get another job. Am I allowed to say that? I think I am. But, you know, and I was watching Formula One. Yeah, I used to watch Formula One. The only excitement was when they announced the safety car was coming out. I was like, yeah, good for you, safety car. But when I came out, I cried for 3 days and hid in a wardrobe. But I liked at the end of Formula 1, you know, they spray everyone with champagne as if it's a good thing. Like, if I was at work and the boss came up and sprayed with the champagne and said, "You did a really good spreadsheet, Darcy," I'd be livid. I'd be like, "What do you ask? What have you done? What am I going to tell the police if I get pulled over? No, officer, I've not had a drop. I just stink from head to toe of champagne because I did a good spreadsheet." It's not a good thing, is it? Well, that's the comedy for me. And I always finish my comedy by saying, I've had a ball. I used to have two and a penis. And I'm going to do my poem. I wrote a poem. I don't do poems. I've written like 2 ever, but kind of just came out of the ether. So it's probably wrong and it might not work and it's not academically right. But I said I was going to do it because it's all about lockdown. Be nice to me. Society doesn't exist, she said, as she slowly tried to destroy it and replace it with modern consumerism and a lifestyle that was just never worth it. But now we're at home. Now we're sharing home deliveries with neighbours we've never met. We all talk on a WhatsApp group now that was made by our neighbour Lynette. I've got some tin tomatoes you can have. What number again are you? I've got some more face masks I made. I left them outside, number 32. Colourful drawings of rainbows brighten even the dullest of London streets. Rainbows in our hearts each time Captain Tom Moore speaks. Families playing football in the park, mum's been left in goal. Dad runs up and bear hugs her to let their daughter score a goal. This was once an unfriendly street, I said, smiling as we stroll. And life with my wife used to be like passing ships in the night. Work to sleep, sleep to work, where did the decade go? But now we look forward to each and every tomorrow. Fitness videos in the lounge with my wife every day, stomping, moaning and grunting. And then fits of giggles at what the neighbour downstairs must think the girls upstairs must be doing. It's the simple things in life, they say, but it's only now that we see, like sitting in the garden with my crochet, or she replants a tree. We've never had less freedom, but I've never felt so free. This pandemic is bad, but lockdown's pleasant effects won't be forgotten, because what we really needed in life was to press the reset button. That's it. It's called reset button. Just want to say something, I'm sure. Oh, thank you.
Right. Very good. Well done.
Well done.
Thank you.
We'll swap it to the left.
Robert, we can't hear you.
Hang on,
You're on mute, mate.
No. I was doing a mime section. You just have to bear with me on that. Sorry. Let me start again. What a way to start the evening. The wonderful Darcy Silver blew me away with that poem. That was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Darcy is generating loads of content and putting it up on Facebook and Twitter, etc. Find Darcy on there. And follow her stuff and love it. That was absolutely wonderful. What a way to start the evening. We're going to keep the ball rolling like something out of Indiana Jones, my good friends, with a comedy legend. Steve was a member of Skink Video in the 1980s, has been doing comedy for more than 30 years. He's absolutely fantastic. I first saw him when I used to do stage management at the Comedy Store. And he absolutely blew me away there. And he will do exactly the same to you, my good friends. I'm going to unmute everyone so we can greet him to our virtual room with a rapturous round of applause. Are we ready to do that, my good friends?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Hello, Steve.
Hello. Good evening.
The fantastic Mr. Steve Mingle.
Thank you very much.
Here we go.
Greetings from the lovely Ladywell in the beautiful borough of Lewisham in London.
Oh.
And it is very posh because they actually don't bake banana breads here. They bake actually fair trade, responsibly sourced banana bread without any bananas. Now, of course, we have been reeling from the announcement by our great leader, Boris Johnson. So this is a quick one for the new change of slogan. Whether you're on fellow or knocking back the mellow, stay in alert, stay in alert. Spot the virus and say hobbit, even though it's microscopic. Stay in alert, stay in alert. What the fuck does that mean? Of course, from Boris to the other nations contained in the UK. Things are different in England. On that we'll never shirk. In upholding health against money making. Now get back to fucking work. Of course, they said that you must come back to work if you can, but please find some other way of getting there other than public transport. You can reach me by railway. You can't reach me by bus, no way. From tram or tube, just stay away, but get here if you can. Relax, don't do it. If you want to defeat COVID, relax till you meet one parent. Make sure it's your mom. And of course, there is a special message to people who are out enjoying their designated government's exercise every day. I like to go walking in the street, not in the street, well, mainly in the streets actually, because of loved up couples walking side by side, hand in hand on the pavement. Because as we know, coronavirus is absolutely devastated by love. This is dedicated to anyone who likes to go for a walk in the park. Special message to the other people. Keep on running. Keep on jogging now, yeah. Breathing heavily right in my face. Because you won't change course. Panting like a horse. Still, at least, of course, we're quite fortunate we don't live in the Philippines, where President Duterte has a very strange way of dealing with people who infringe their lockdown. Well, if I see you walking down the street, ignoring the rules that you shouldn't meet, we'll open fire. Now, one of my favourite stories of the last 8 weeks has been the encroachment on the city of Llandudno in North Wales by a herd of mountain goats who have come down from the Great Orme, mainly by the funicular railway, and have taken over the streets. So here's a little folk song about the goats taking over. It's called The Goats of Llandudno. Started off one morning as I walked along the street. It wasn't a ghostly moaning. It was more like a bleat. And as I turned the corner, I saw the red horses. Fuck off, mate, they sighed. And they trampled over all the gardens in one vault. I said, who did that? They pointed at a goat called Scape and said, it's all his fault. We are the goats of Llandudno. Our time has finally arrived. They say we're growing in confidence. Some of us have even learned to drive. They said we're taking over Wales, from Pontypridd down to Meath. Billy Gruff said, I'm crossing the Severn Bridge. I've heard a troll lives underneath. They stood outside the occult shop, chanting the Dark Lord has appeared, as some hipster goats arrived, sporting a human-y beard. They said, we are the goats of Llandudno. And now we've turned to prey. I fancy some feta cheese and the curry made out of Uncle Dave. We are the goats, Llandudno. Now, of course, have in America, there's been a different reaction. Here's a little message from the lovely gun-toting people of America who are very impatient with the lockdown. We are the shit-kicking bubbers from Virginia. Our cry is give me liberty, or well, looks like we're gonna get both. And of course, I am a Liverpool fan, and I'm very, very, very sad. 2 more games. We're just taking 2 more games. But of course, they may well play the remainder of the Premiership behind closed doors. So here's a quick one. Oh, when we get behind closed doors, the atmosphere will be shit like Goodison Park. No one will ever cheer Paul Pogba. Yes, fuck all will change when they play behind closed doors. And finally, in my little section, one of the most weird things has been people's dreams in lockdown. People have said that they're having the strangest nightmares and dreams. So this one's called Nightmare on Crowded Streets, and it's dedicated to anyone that's suffering from the weirdest dreams they've ever had in their lives. It goes something like this. Jesus was in my yoga class doing a handstand. I was being wrestled in hand sanitizer. Yeah, I was Pontius Pilate. I was still washing my hands. I was wrestling in hand sanitizer with Nicola Sturgeon. I had that flying dream again, but not on Virgin. I was eating a kebab with the face Dominic Raab. He tasted challenging. I was dancing with Anne Boleyn, who was eating raw pangolin, and on Zoom he started to sing, but there was an issue with the timing. Is it my turn? I'm having lockdown dreams full of Hitler memes and an orgy with 2 meters spacing. And Sigmund Freud declared the Premiership null and void. So I punched his repressed face in. Last night, dreamt I was being ridden by a demon from hell, with the body of Joe Wicks and the face of Priti Patel. I screamed for help, but no one came at all. Just a voice said, we are currently experiencing an unusually high volume of calls. Then I dreamt I was on Skype with a Jungian archetype, the junior minister with a load of old flannel. And as a final coda, I heard the voice of Baby Yoda saying the rest of this dream is only available on the Disney Channel. Having lockdown dreams featuring reams and reams of bitter middle-aged men in a shed. And doctors and nurses say, would we like fair pay? No thanks, a round of applause every Thursday night we'll do instead. I'm having lockdown dreams. I'm having lockdown dreams. Thank you.
Hey. Hi, Steve. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you, mate.
Thanks very much.
Good friends, was that not absolutely wonderful? I think it was. Let's have it one more time, please, for the comedy legend that is the brilliant Steve Gribbin.
Woo! Yeah!
Live stream back up to closer to your neck of the woods, I guess. So you're originally from Liverpool, and my what has happened with the Premier League. So could be worse. You could be a Stoke fan like me. So,
We're going to win it again.
yes, yeah, that's it. We can live in hope. All right, my friends. I'm going to mute everyone once again. One moment. I'll just make sure I don't mute myself. We can all hear me. Good stuff. I'm never, ever going to take the piss out of my mum for not being able to use FaceTime and technology effectively again. Never, ever again. This is harder than it looks. All right, my friends, we touched a bit on exercise before. I've been going out running. I've been running up the canals in Manchester. We are blessed in Manchester. I have an amazing network of canals. They are overrun at the moment by geese. Geese, obviously, it's the gosling season. You've got Ryan Gosling out there eating cereal on the canals. But they're bloody everywhere. Now, I'm a lover of the animal kingdom, but I will say that geese can be a right bunch of bastards. They can be awful. They can come right at you and they can hiss at you. They've got teeth on their tongues. They're not even joking. They've got teeth on their tongues. And they're just relentless. They don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck, the geese at all. Yesterday, as my good friend Paul from Flapjack Press made me aware, yesterday was National Limerick Day. I run a dirty limerick competition every week, and this was the winning limerick last week on the subject of my encounters with geese. It went like this. When out on his mandated run, Rob kicked a poor goose up his bum. The goose, it did hiss. Rob's pants, they were pissed. He'd never had quite so much fun. There we go. All right, friends, I will waste no time in bringing on the next act. So Eddie is absolutely fantastic. Eddie Hurst is a brilliantly zany musical comedian who joined us last year when we ran a stage at Blue Dot Festival. Sadly, we're not going to be doing that anymore this year. I've just been, to make up for not going to Blue Dot, I've just been drinking from my Blue Dot cup, listening to live Bjork albums. But nonetheless, Eddie is going to blow your mind. Let's practice that round of applause once more, please, my friends. I've unmuted you all. Can you hear the big clap? All right. Without further ado, the marvellous Mr. Eddie Hurst. One more clap.
Hello, hi everybody.
Oh.
Snake in my boot. I'm going to start the song again. We'll just pretend it. We skipped it. I've got ants in my pants, a snake in my boot. I've got an otter in my pocket, and I'm running from the zoo. That's the first one there. Enjoy that, guys. When I close my eyes, it's your face that shines through. God, I regret these eyelid tattoos. That's the second one there, second one in the bag there, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. Hello to everybody in the Zoom group, and also to you guys on YouTube as well, if anyone's watching live there. I'll get out of the way right now. Some of you might have noticed. I am a musical comedian. I'm as disappointed as you are. But here's a bit about me. I'm not very good at looking after things. Last week, I was given a plant as a gift, died after a few days. I was pretty upset. I want to give a proper send-off, so I had a funeral for it. I buried it. Next day was all right. Rob mentioned going to the gym. I went to the gym not very recently, as you may have guessed, due to lockdown. Arguably, I didn't even go to the gym for this because it's merely a joke and it's all fictitious. But I went to the gym and I saw two real beefcakes, and I went up to them and I went, "Hey, dudesons, do you want to see a real man?" And then I showed them how to balance family and work-life commitments. lot of people, they say to me, you know, Eddie, it seems very much like using musical comedy as a way to stay emotionally distanced from human connection. And to those guys, I just say, but come on, look at me, what am I bringing to the table? Like, to tell you about my life would be like putting a fried egg on an omelette. I mean, yeah, you can do it, but why? What do you want from that? But here actually is a song that I've written that is about my life. It's a true story that I hope helps anybody out there in the internet. I hope it even just connects with one person, one single person who's here. Because honestly, I think, like, you know, performing comedy in countless Zoom conference rooms across the country, it's always a treat and it's always a joy. But I do think if you can just make one single connection out of all of those hundreds on aggregate, hundreds of people, if you can just make one real single human connection, you should quit. It's a numbers game, innit? Got a phone call yesterday from my phone service provider. They said, Mr. Hurst, can we help you out in any way? I said, ain't spoken to my dad in 18 years. Last time saw my mom, she was in floods of tears. I need guidance, can you tell me what to do? I was thinking more your contract, sir. Do you need a new handset? The latest iPhone's out. It's the best one yet. My house burnt down. I lost my job. My wife walked out 'cause she thinks I'm a slob. And she's right. And it's true. Not really qualified for this, sir. Sounds to me like you're in need of a counsellor. I'm just on minimum wage in a call centre. If I give you free calls and texts, please can I hang up on you? What about data? Can you get us 5G? If you fuck off right now, downloads will be free. And that's how I got my phone. So I hope that helps somebody out in the room in any way, shape or form, guys. It's just so important, you know, to keep on top of those bills. Just because we're in lockdown doesn't mean we can't negotiate a great deal, right? Right, if anything, we've got more time. Anything, we've got more time. Look, I mean, I've been locked out. My wife is with child, which is very exciting, but it does mean that we have been in lockdown about 2 weeks before official lockdown was. And I'm not saying that it's affecting me, but I would like to ask you guys something. Right, now, if I do this, right, if I do that and I move it, does it look like a bird flying? And before you say it, I mean, maybe we could unmute if we can, Rob, because I just, like, legitimately, I just need feedback on it, because as you could quite, like, I've built a thing for it and everything. Like, I want to give it a but like just after I've tried it, you can give us a yes or a no, like.
Yes. Yes.
There's a yes.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, later, my wife is going to hear about this. Oh, it took me 2 weeks to make that, but oh, it was worth it. Oh, it was worth it. I'm fine, thanks, guys. Okay, right. This next song, it's actually my first ever blues song, so I'm really excited to share this with you. It's called.
What are you doing? I was like, just
Woke up this morning. Thanks very much, guys. So that's that one there. Right, here's a love song. You've got a secret you're keeping from me, but I'm gonna find out. I need honesty. You turn away, but it's clear to see from your ankle to your thigh. You've got a robot knee. What? Robot knee, shoots out lasers and it brews coffee. Robot knee, my original knee, it was taken from me on a raid on my laboratory. So baby, can't you see, I think you've got my knee, and I want it back. That's a love song straight from the heart. Really profound one there. Right, I've probably only got time for two more songs, two short songs, and then I'll get right out of your hair like a very polite knit. Before I do that, thank you so much for having me, guys, and thanks for putting up with me, and also for proving that the bird thing has legs or wings. Hello, very excited about that. More excited than I think I should be, but I like it because we've got to hold on to what's important to us now, haven't we? Sure, I'm having a child, that's important, but that I look like a bird if I pop it over my face. So priorities is all I'm saying. Priorities is all I'm saying. Also, if you've enjoyed any of my stuff, why not follow me on here? I'm making videos every week, and I'm also working on a podcast now because I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the law for comedians now. I think every comedian has to make a podcast. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it'll be coming through soon. Anyway, guys, so I've rambled too much. I'll do one more song, and then that's it. Thank you very much. I won't climb a mountain for you. I won't cross a wild river, it's true. But I think you're a great organizer. You're my work shift supervisor, and I need Monday off. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for this, and also please remember to donate to Mustard Tree and Shoreham Food Bank. Thanks, guys.
You're on mute again.
Robert!
Ready, Bob?
What's happening with that? It doesn't want to stream.
There we go. Right, bloody Nora. Goodness me, I got there in the end. As I say, I'm never taking the piss out of my mum for struggling with technical things ever again. Eddie was bloody marvellous. I absolutely adored that. That was fantastic. Last time we had it, last time we had Eddie. Referred to Eddie as it just then. What am I playing at? Last time we had Eddie at we had him at Blue Dot Festival, which was absolutely brilliant, really good fun. He raised the roof of the tent there. Eddie's video has just gone down just now. However, his social media handles were just behind him. So if you guys do, I don't know if you do CFAX Facebook. Here he is again. Voila. Eddie's social handles. Let me just unmute him 1 sec. Yeah. I'd like to say a word about oh.
I just feel sick. I feel so, like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I remember I made this originally as a joke as part of my Edinburgh show because I thought the idea of self-promotion as a comedian was hilarious. And then as soon as I got up to Edinburgh, I realized turns out people it's really useful.
Absolutely. No, completely. Well, friends, I'm going to spotlight myself again. Friends, find Eddie on all of the socials, whatever it is you use, MySpace, CFAX, whatever. Similarly, everybody else who's on tonight, Attila the Stockbroker, Dominic Berry, Rose Condo, Darcy Silver, Steve Gribbin, Sarah Louise Keegan, all of those are on there. Myself as well. If you want to follow me, just ensure that you are deploying appropriate social distancing measures. But nonetheless, we shall crack on. I think we bloody well shall. Let's have a honk for that. Yeah. Okay, my good friends. So I'll waste no more time in introducing the last comedy act of the evening. By the way, I'm just very, very briefly unmute you all. Are we all having a good time?
Bread.
We've got a bunch of viewers on YouTube, and we've got a wonderful host of participants in here. I like how everyone's referred to as participants. It's as though we're engaged in some kind of game, kind of jousting game. It sounds. I started referring to my girlfriend as my partner, which makes her sound like somebody who I've been paired up with in PE. Find the space in the hall and find a partner. Anyway, all right, my good friends. Without further ado, I shall bring on the final comedy act of the evening. She is absolutely fantastic. She has done loads of stuff for the radio, and one of her songs has gone brilliantly viral all over the internet. She's done Punk in Drublic a number of times, and each time has blown everybody's fucking socks off. She's absolutely fantastic. I shall waste no more time in introducing her. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and comrades, from you all, the wonderful Sarah Louise Keegan.
Stage entrance then and everything.
There we go.
Now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking she's standing there and she's got no tights on in her Crocs. Oh, right, we're on. So I need to get something big off my chest. Excellent. Put your glasses on if you didn't get that one. Not least because this is proper chafing me bra underwires here, honestly. And I've seen all your faces of joy, and that reminds me of the best moment of the night, getting my bra off. Oh, excellent. Not least because you can revisit your snacks, can't you? You go, oh, it's a Dorito, chiller heat wave. Yeah, I've been less successful with a Twix, but I think it's properly made for a sherbet dib dab. What do you reckon? I can see you nodding in agreement. That's brilliant. Right, well, now there's going to be a joining in bit, which I think is really, really important for you all at home. And if you're sitting there in isolation on this lockdown on your own, it's even more important that you join in. So I'm going to give you permission to run to your kitchen cupboards for your joining in items, which would be maybe perhaps some salt, because that's like your own shaker, or if you like peppercorns. That's also good. And if you're really feeling that you're going to get into it, which you will, maybe some rice. Oh, that makes a good noise, that, yeah. So who knew that in your kitchen cupboards you had those lovely rhythmic instruments? Right, well, that's for later, so go and get that ready.
I want you to unmute everyone at your cue.
So, very nice. Anyway, I thought what we'd do first of all is we'll sing a love song, and this is Girl Meets Boy, Dad's Not Keen. Hey, I can see you know it there, Melanie. I'm sure she's nodding. Yeah, very good. Now, don't be shazamming it. I want your proper knowledge here. Yes, it's Puccini. Excellent, well done. Now then, is there anyone watching right now, and this includes you on YouTube live, and those of you sitting at home, anyone who doesn't speak Italian? Right. Well, don't worry, because I'm from Wigan, so I'll translate it. Here we go. Oh, mio bambino caro, mi piacerebbe. Hey, Dad, I've just met a dead fit lad. Hey, he's taking me to Argos next week to get an engagement ring. Well, I say he's taking me. Oh, dear. Oh, God, I love cubic zirconias. Right, here we go. I feel like we've bonded now. Midnight. How I love to go bronze. Have my boobs lost their man? They are dangling around. Hey, when I say dangling, I've had 2 kids, right? And my kids have started this new game. It's a bit like pin the tail on the donkey, except they call it Guess Where Sarah's Nipples Are. They should show more respect, shouldn't they? Guess where Mummy's nipples are. I think it's just because I breastfed him too long, and I don't know. Anyway, I've weaned him now onto Nando's. Now he's 18. Oh, thank goodness we've moved away from drawing pins and we've got blue tack though. Oh, in the lamp, in the lamplight, my shivers. You've gone visual there, haven't you? I saw you closing your eyes. How I silicone. I dreamed I nice lingerie, but I've not. I'm going to show you. Is it sharing is caring? Yeah, these are some of my favourite knickers. Oh, there we go. Oh, we can do, if I stand back, we can fit them on. Yeah, and I know what you're wondering. You're wondering, is it a thong back? No. No. Who wants to floss? No. Oh, a bit damp. Oh no, it's definitely, it's water. I just spilt some earlier. Have you ever? I think it's all about ladies. Oh no. Have you ever? Oh, what would you do? Be like, you have testicles, right? Be your own like little executive toy, wouldn't it? Like one of those Newton's cradles. Oh, it's lovely. Now, on the subject of caring, I was just wondering, personal hygiene is very, very important. So this is for those of you that own testicles. I can get this really close now. This is below the belt. Oh, instant clean balls. You see, you can see that, yeah. And then you just sort of spray it on. It's like, oh, it's a bit minty that. And that is when a shower isn't possible. And right now, that's just because you're being lazy. Right, not camping. Right now, this one, this is, what is it about the shuffling around that people do, because when I say people, I mean boys with testicles, and they're always doing that, aren't they? And apparently, according to my son, it's because your balls are always sticking to your thighs. Well, this is for you. If this is you, you can get some of this fresh and dry balls. Lovely. You lather it on, active, it says, and you can apply after you've had a shower this, and it gives them a lovely sort of silky, if you were here, I'd give you a little tester of it. Yeah, it gives you silky and sheeny, a bit like Teflon. Just like your mum's sort of picked you up by the ankles and freshly talked them. That would be lovely. It's a nice thought for you, that, isn't it? Yeah. Right, now then, I was surveying the Zoom room as we were there, and I could see there were a fair few fanny magnets looking right back at me. You'll be sitting there feeling very good about yourselves right now. But ladies and gentlemen, I have in my hand here an actual fanny magnet. Oh, it's for real. It's for real. It's there's even some young ones on, so we'll have to, you know. So this is for the menopause. So the clue is in the name, menopause. It's where men have to just shut up for about 10 years, give or take. And it's a magnet. I can demonstrate there. You can see that's science. It's so you don't have to take HRT. So there'll be kids. What's HRT, Sarah? Well, it's not them 4-letter drugs that you might be taking, like HDMI. No, it's if you take HRT, kids, you won't get off your tits. You'll grow them. So just say no. Right, now, have you been to your kitchen cupboards? Because it's getting to your time now. I'll tell you all about it. I've got a little secret. If you're nearly in your 40s, this purple glittering magnet for menopausal ladies. You stick it in your knickers, on the front, not down below, not in the gusset. It sorts out all your hormones, those hot flushes, they will go. You ready? With your fanny magnets instead of HRT. I'm trying to shake it. Magnets, so stick it in your nose and see. This magnet's cost me 30 quid. 30 quid, it's a magnet. It's a bet to do the trick. I've read reviews online and stuff, it's meant to work real quick. This magnet's strong, things can go wrong. Hey, one of my friends, she was taking the knickers and tights off, launched them across the bedroom, and they snapped onto the radiator. This magnet strong, things can go wrong. In Asda, it is true. You'll stick to them big freezers and you'll stick to trolleys too. With your fanny magnets instead of HRT. Open your windows and shout it. Magnets, so stick it in your knickers and see. My day at work is long and hard. I'm not an office job, but my magnets come in handy, fetching paper clips and car key fobs. Hey, if you know anyone that keeps losing their car keys, buy them a fanny magnet. They can wear it, stick them car keys on, they'll always know where it is. If you've lost some coins down your sexy, invite me for a brew. I'll wear me fanny magnet and cool out the change for you. Bring me fanny magnets instead of HRT. Come on, neighbours, join us. Magnets, so stick it in your knickers and see. Magnets and trouble shakers. Airports can be tricky. Oh, do you remember them? Security and all. Do I wear my fanny magnets or stick it in the hold? I'll set the scanners buzzing. Perhaps that's just me bra. And John comes out the scanner room and he says, Madam, do you know where your car keys are? Everyone with your fanny magnets instead of HRT. It's lovely singing on the Wednesday. Magnets, so stick it in your knickers. Where do you stick it? Stick it in your knickers. Stick it in your knickers and see. Oh, I do hope you enjoyed that. Now listen. Thinking of thank you very much.
Danny's just clapping.
Oh, lovely. Now, be mindful that there could be some side effects here. So you might, if you wear one of it, you might get headaches and nausea. Be careful going near ramblers. You might send them, you know, off their track. And do be careful if in the future you're travelling by train, because step away from the edge of the platform, otherwise you might find yourself riding the Pendolino from Preston to Aberystwyth. And on that happy note, oh, you know, if I could share, I would do. Have a sherbet, have a really good time, and thank you for watching and listening. It's been lovely. See you soon. Thank you.
All right, my good friends. All right then. Okay, I'm just going to mute you all and hope that it doesn't mute me. Wait. I got you. Okay. All right. Folks, that was bloody marvellous, was it not? Every time Sarah has joined us at Pumpkin Drublic Poetry, she's brought the fucking house down. Let's please have it one more time for Sarah Louise Keegan. Absolutely wonderful. Folks, as mentioned a little bit earlier on, the evening is, of course, in aid of Mustard Tree Homelessness Charity and Shoreham Food Bank. I have just plonked into the chat, if you can open up the chat, the Just Giving links for both of those charities. Please give generously. Please do. As mentioned, it is a really, really worthy cause, and it's really, really important that we do donate to such worthy causes. All right, my good friends, we're going to move on swiftly to our final three acts of the evening. We're moving on to the poetry section of the evening. And with that in mind, I best open things up with a poem. This is a piece about gringos. Don't know if you're all familiar with what gringos are. Gringos, for the uninitiated, it's this nifty new acronym that the government have come up with to describe graduates in non-graduate occupations. This is about gringos, of which I suppose I consider myself. It's called The Desperate Job Seekers Blues, and it goes like this. Applying, 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 applying. Applying, it's all coming back with shit. See, there's few tasks that are quite less gratifying than hours every night to commit. Authoring paragraphs, whoring my attributes. Missed the mark again, got the desperate job seekers blues. 5 years ago, pulling pints, naively stocked with a bachelor's degree in the arts. Not expecting the world just to fall at my feet, just not wanting to fall on my arse. See, I've got 3 jobs now, but they're all 0 hours. They've cut off the lecky, I'm having cold showers. Should be more astute with the options I choose. Hemorrhaging cash with the desperate job seekers blues. These HR departments, their buzzwords and jargon are becoming my enemies. See, I'm a qualified grafter with goals to chase after, just embellish my qualities. Their poorly spelled adverts, failed GCSEs, an apostrophe in the word vacancies. They're the kind who leave shit TripAdvisor reviews. Fuck you, human resources, the desperate job seekers blues. Competitive rates of pay, it proclaims before revealing 750. I repeat, there's no apostrophe in the word vacancies between the letters S and E. Or at least not in this context. Or an A in the word competitive. Boils my fucking piss. Call up my mother to tell her the news. Rejected again, got the desperate job seekers blues. See, the train to work's not a want, it's a need. I'm walking to work, my poor feet start to bleed. I'm tempted to start flogging shit eights of weed, and then with the profits start bribing indeed. Checking my junk mail for any hidden news. Banana skin on my career path, the desperate job seekers blues. Would my girlfriend forgive me if sexual favours were part of the bargain for fruits of my labour? Because I'll suck and I'll fuck, I'll be fucked and I'll rim if you'll just make my job prospect slightly less grim. Hanging my tea bags to dry and reuse. It's gaffer tape holding together my shoes as I sanitise my political views under the spell of the desperate job seekers blues. I turned up to my interview stinking of booze because I've given up now, got the desperate job seekers blues. Thank you very much, my friends. Amy, who is a very, very dear friend of mine, I would like to inform you all of something. If you are not already aware, I'm going to drop the link into the chat to make you all even more aware. And that is that Pumpkin Drublic Poetry, for the second year in a row, has been shortlisted for a Saboteur Award. We've been shortlisted for the Saboteur Award for Best Spoken Word Night in the UK, along with 2 nights from London and a night from Leamington Spa. And I think, no disrespect to London, the North needs to win. And with that in mind, the North has an incredible contingent, firstly, in the form of our next fantastic guest, a very, very dear friend of mine, the Glastonbury Festival Poet in Residence, the previous Saboteur Award winning Dominic Berry is up for Best Performer. Also, following Dominic Berry, we've got Rose Condo. Rose Condo's amazing spoken word show, The Empathy Experiment, is up for Best Show. And our good friends who have published work by Dominic Berry, also published work by Henry Normal, Thick Richard, Jackie Hagan, Rose Condo next later in the year as well, I believe, and lots of other people. I'm going to be having some work published through next year. Flapjack Press, Manchester's fantastic publisher, are up for Most Innovative Publisher. Please, please, please vote for me, vote for Pumpkin Drublic, it's not just me, Dominic Berry, Rose Condo and Flapjack Press. I'm going to drop the link into the chat, and I'm going to, yeah, please vote for us from there. Please donate as well. And yeah, we'll go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've done everything. I've hyped it up enough already. I shall waste no further time in bringing on the wonderful Mr. Dominic Berry. Let's have it loud, please, for Dominic.
Brilliant. Am I on? Can you hear me? Yeah.
One sec.
Bit just to make sure. Yes, I'm unmuted. Way, brilliant. All right, yeah, I'm Dominic. Well, we've had a lot of people being really cheerful so far, and I'm here to say poems that are fucking miserable. Hey, because you know we want the full range of emotions, don't we? So I'm not just gonna say miserable poems. I'm gonna do angry poems, definitely. And I'm going to say some love poetry, try and share a little bit of all the kind of stuff I do. At the moment, stuff's really difficult for pretty much everyone, I reckon. And none of us are going out much, if at all. In my early 20s, I was agoraphobic. I did not go out without having panic attacks, losing control of my breath, ending up sat on the pavement, gasping for air, people walking past me, looking at me. It was embarrassing. It was horrible. It was a really, really nasty time. So I've got a poem which is about hope. And it was the title poem of the first book that Flapjack did of mine. And it's a poem called Tomorrow I Will Go Dancing. And it goes exactly like this. Today I'm eating margarine straight from the tub and I feel so guilty. However hard I scrub, my wrists unbandaged. I've been trying not to rub, but I've so many cysts that need lancing. Tomorrow I will go dancing. My fingernails are rusty, skin full of ills, head hot and tender as my stomach spills. But tomorrow I know where we'll get these little pills. You see, everything about me needs enhancing. Tomorrow I will go dancing. Tomorrow you'll go dancing in your glitter tat, absinthe, vodka, never get fat, laughing, smiling, all that goes with that. Today I feel anxiety advancing. Tomorrow I will go dancing. Hear my father's voice, walked and splintered today. He says, misery will find you, boy. You'll never get away. My head feels like a beehive on a warm summer's day when I see pretty things preening and prancing. Tomorrow I will go dancing. Well, everyone there's happy, falling into song. I want to be loved. I've been lonely for so long, and tomorrow's like a vessel sail away from all this wrong where people say I'm ugly and can't sing. Tomorrow I will go dancing. Today I hear your laughter, it is gnawing at my head, it is biting up through blisters where you burned until I bled. If I panic till I can't breathe, think I'd be better dead, well, I'll tell myself that risk is worth chancing. Tomorrow I will go dancing. I want to join the happy crowds, gloriously glad. I want to like pop music, never feel sad. My therapist's implying that I choose to feel this bad. I tell her, you know nothing, but if you're asking, I think she's asking. She's asking, tomorrow I will go dancing. And that's the first poem complete. Hey, it's common wisdom in performance poetry that you always start with something light-hearted to get everyone on side. But, you know, fuck that shit, eh? We're all adults. We don't need to be, like, spoon-fed and eased in, just straight in with the hardcore stuff, I reckon. But having said that, I am going to do a happy poem for my second poem. This is my most recent book here, No Tigers. And I've got a poem about friendship in it. And it is a French form of poetry called a triolet, because I'm really pretentious. So yeah, it's a really specific rhyme structure. It's got a certain rhythm and repeated lines, and it's about when I was coming out of those agoraphobic times, and I first went to poetry events, and I made good friends who really helped me move forwards. And right now I'm so grateful for stuff like Zoom and video chatting. It's a lifeline. I'm so grateful for having stuff like this. So here's a triolet, a poem about friendship, and it goes like this. Awash with cheer, my flood of friends, whose words are wet with wit and glee, shared juice and beer, your laughter mends. Awash with cheer, my flood of friends, I'll join you here, for this place sends my sorrow somewhere far from me. Awash with cheer, my flood of friends, whose words are wet with wit and glee. And if you didn't know what a triolet is, now you know, and you can impress all your friends at parties, by Zoom parties, by telling them what a triolet is, and they'll all be proper impressed with you. So yeah, these days saying poetry is my job. There's not a day that goes by when I'm not really thankful that I'm getting to write words. And I've got one poem that is also in this book, which is without doubt the poem that I've been lucky enough to get attention for. And it's I guess if I was a pop star, this would be my hit single, I guess. And I'm going to perform it, and it is horrible. You thought the first poem was horrible. Oh my word, you got nothing compared to how really vile this piece of writing is going to be. But I tell you this, right? In 3 minutes' time, because that's how long it is, I'm going to share a love poem. So, you know, smorgasbord of emotions. There we go. So this poem, it's the poet's job, I reckon, to try and document our times. And this is a pre-lockdown state. It's a poem about 5 different men, and these men are all in toilets, and they're all doing things that perhaps toilets perhaps weren't originally designed for. I'm going to give the trigger warnings for all the triggers, because this poem's got them all. This is a poem called Men Locked Behind Toilet Doors. I hope you get something from it. It goes like this. Jack and Ben are men locked behind a toilet door. Jack is fucking Ben's ass. The air is hot and smells of vomit. Ben knows Jack owns every Björk CD, even the remix ones. Yes, even the shit remix ones. Ben's shit is on Jack's legs and inside Jack's boxer shorts. Ben thinks, don't stop, never be lonely. The sound of half a phone call can be heard outside. There's another man explaining to someone else he needs it Thursday, not Friday. No, Thursday. Are you listening? Thursday. Do you understand? Thursday. I said Thursday. Fuck. Ben thinks, don't stop. Great pain. Jack does not know Ben's name. Jack adores the taste of his own sweat. Yes, he licks his upper lip. Yes, he wishes someone could be filming this now. X-Tube, this is love. Yes, this could go viral. Tom is alone, locked behind a toilet door. It's 9 days until Tom's 13th birthday. The air smells of bleach. Never be lonely. Someone kicks the outside of the toilet door. Thump, come out queer, fucking queer. I'm gonna get you, fucking queer, fuck you, queer. Tom does not know if he is gay. Tom knows this is fear, will never leave, he will die. Tom knows there'll never be a day when he won't be a man locked behind some toilet door. Thump, come out, fucking queer. Tom can't cry. William is a man locked behind a toilet door. They make him play as the fat guy in Mortal Kombat X. Now, nobody likes the fat guy in Mortal Kombat X. He wants to be the Thunder God, would settle for one of the ninjas, but they make him play as the fat guy in Mortal Kombat X. Fat guy spits fat balls of puke. Use fingers, William. Special moves, William. Quarter circle, down, throw, down, left, right. Purge. William no longer chokes on chunks. Sometimes he uses a toothbrush. Today it's only fingers. This is almost like thin. Lightning. Bolts. Splat, pattern, porcelain, milkshake, waffle, scrambled eggs, splat, splat, splat. One day he will be God of thunder and never be lonely. Don't tell mum, 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 don't tell mum. Dan is a man locked behind a toilet door. Yes, cocaine-caked nostrils. Yes, Dan's atoms are sexy dancing, high kicks. Yes, Dan's mum wouldn't know a sexy atom if she saw one do the splits. Dan's friend is outside. I'll be okay in a minute, mate. I'll be okay in a minute, mate. Fuck off, mate. Dan's atoms are vibrating, exploding, shaking their groove things. And what kind of lame arse atoms do you have? Anyway, mate, there are disco atoms in Dan's fist. There are disco atoms in Dan's dick. There are tingly, sharp atoms inside Dan's disco nose. Never be lonely. Dan knows it's not on top of Tibetan mountains. No, Nirvana is here. Dan has never heard a remix album by Björk. He unlocks his toilet door, steps outside and Dan can breathe. Fuck. Dan can breathe. And that's that poem. And I've got two more to share with you this fine evening. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Robert, for setting all of this up. Please do, if you're in a position to donate to Mustard Tree, it's an absolutely fantastic thing. I've had such a privilege to work with Robert on a number of Punkin Drublics, and I know he works so hard putting these things together. Now, I promised you that after Men Locked Behind Toilet Doors, I would share a love poem, and this is the first time I have ever shared this poem. Brand new, people. Brand new poem, eh? Brand new. Getting very excited about my own new poem, of course, because it's a love poem. Because I am in love. I've been not with a boyfriend for 6 years, and now I have a boyfriend, and he's fucking brilliant. And I've written a love poem about how fucking ace he is. We met in Manchester, but we actually, when we were really young, went to the same school in London, and the name of the school is Cheam Common. This is a love poem for Joe, and it's called Cheam Common. We were Cheam Common boys, 2 boys from Cheam Common School, cartoon theme tunes, adventure and hope. Then my family moved, left London, so I never knew the teenage you, and you did not see what my new schoolmates did to me. They made me ashamed of what I wanted to be. Less football, more fairy. My wings were ripped by the flying fists and studded boot kicks of boys who told me I would never be like them. They called me girl, a weaponized word which hurt more than knuckles, a weaponized word sharpened by the unchallenged truth that, of course, these boys see a girl as lesser, weaker, incapable of being a hero in anyone's story. I was surrounded by monsters with no knight in shining armor, my pansy pinks punched into purple, broken blue. Meanwhile, in London, I never knew all of this was also happening to you. Girl, a label given to someone who will never feel like a real man, never grow into what we are supposed to be, according to those who cannot transcend normality. Now we meet as adults, and you are so beautiful. Strong, curly beard, snowdrop soft skin, and baby blue eyes that glimmer with the soul of a cartoon theme tune, the greatest theme tune. She-Ra, She-Ra, Princess of Power. Your eyes promise adventure is ahead. Give hope. You make me laugh with TV show quotes and impeccable pop music trivia. You tell me when you were younger, you found empowerment identifying with incredible women, from the fiery, fairy finding songs of Tori Amos to Pat the Rat, glorious 1980s Australian soap star and queen bitch. And you show me how easily we can transform. If Princess Adora can turn into She-Ra, if a cornflake girl can become a raspberry swirl, if Pat the Rat from Sons and Daughters can be played by Rowena Wallace in 1982 and then Belinda Giblin in 1985, and the general public accept plastic surgery as a narrative device to explain how one character can be played by 2 totally different actresses, then surely it's not too much to ask people to just accept us for being us. We can be unreal men, furry-chinned and glamorous. When you bring the belly laughs, I believe I can achieve anything. I want to be your girlfriend. If you will be my princess of power. If you let me love you, I will fly us to Venus and back, down under and up. And I will sing you all your favorite cartoon theme tunes deep into the night. And I promise, for every single time that anyone ever called you a name made to make you feel lesser, I will offer 100 kisses to make you feel better. You are the hero of my story. We have studded wings and flying kicks and words not weaponized, but wrapped around our hearts like armor. Love. I love you. I love the passion you put into this world. And I know I will always want to be your cheap, common girl. Thank you very much. Cheers. Woo! Right, one more poem. Wow. What emotional time, emotional old time. I'm going to end inspired by having read an article in The Guardian today. It was an article about pandemics. It was an article about the dangers of not just bats, but intensive modern farming practices. We don't have to dig too deep to read about how fucking hideous the modern meat industry is. And, you know, I know number one thing at the moment, we got to take care of our mental health. And I'm fearful of being too didactic at the end of my set, but you know, maybe now might be a time to experiment with different kinds of food. It's been something I've been really enjoying recently, to just, you know, get some new recipes under my belt, because what we choose to do with our time has massive impact. This is going to be my final poem, inspired by the Guardian article today about the modern meat industry. I didn't write it today, but it's certainly relevant. It's about being beleaguered. This is a poem called The Beleaguered Vegan. And my final poem goes exactly like this. This vegan is beleaguered, all his green cuisine tastes great, but every time he's out there's someone studying his plate, a person who will grill him on his strange new age ambition. It seems like loads of meat eaters have doctorates in nutrition. What are you eating? Clumps of grass, he's asked about his platter. We need to eat the meat of beasts, just don't eat those that matter. No cats, no dogs, try beef. This steak is cruelty-free, I'm told. And why would those who want our money lie about what's sold? It's normal. I'm not being rude, but I can't eat your vegan food, like apples. I need a treat, and fruit is all you vegans eat. Such little choice, I have no doubt. I know I couldn't live without my burgers, custard, donuts, noodles, chocolate chili, apple strudels, macaroni, strawberry shakes, falafel, pizza, curries, cakes. There's so much food I know I'd miss. A shame, vegans can't eat none of this. I love all this. This food's the best. Oh, what's that? This is vegan. Yeah, I guessed. You confirmed what I had feared. I knew that this food tasted weird. This vegan is beleaguered, but before his vegan days, he once called vegans crazy, said that lifestyle's just a phase, and said, my meat died happy. Though was he there when she died? Should we trust some unseen farm and never look inside, when we could listen to Tom York and the vegans who inspire, like Alicia Silverstone, like Benjamin Zephaniah, like Pretenders Chrissy Hines, like Jackasses Steve-O, like Def Jam's Russell Simmons? This vegans come to know the way these days our milk is made. It's hardly happy how a constant chain of pregnancies are forced on every cow. We'll hear of free-range chicken, not what a cockerel's worth. On free-range farms, they'll still grind up the male chicks at birth. We could share the films of animals that we're told have done no harm. We could battle global warming. We could stop the gas from modern farms. We could seek out other vegans For in numbers there is might. There's no time to be beleaguered. Now is time to join the fight. I've been Dominic Berry. That is the end of my set. It's been a fucking privilege to perform here. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you very much, Robert, for having us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Big, big cheers. Nice one.
Dominic!
Well done. That was really good.
Hello, I do apologise. Was that not anything short of absolutely marvellous? Let's please have another massive round of applause for Dominic Berry, please.
Yes!
I've just had something dropped on me, if you'll bear with me a moment. Okay. All right then, my friends. I'm going to do one more piece. I'm going to bring on another act. I am very blessed to be have been coveted and blessed with insight throughout my nearly 30 years by a woman. I'm a single parent family. I'm talking, of course, about my marvellous mother. She might be watching at home.
Oh, like with the rainbow.
Okay. Right. All right. Wonderful. So I'm going to do this piece. This is about my mum. She's blessed me with insight in the most peculiar of ways. For example, I had to move home about 8 years ago because well, you never move home because things are going well, do you? I had to move home about 8 years ago, and while I was back home, I went out on a date, and the date hadn't gone very well, and I arrived back home, and my mum said, "Oh, how did it go?" And it hadn't gone well, and I said, "No, it hasn't gone well, Mum." And she said, "Oh, Rob, a good shag would cheer you up, wouldn't it?" Anyway, this bit's about my mum. It's called Man of the House. It goes like this. Man of the house now. Houseman. Houseman. That's what they told her infant son. Before you've learned to walk, you must get on your feet and run. You're only 4 years clear of learning to wipe your own bum, but it appears you're the right gender, and every house must have one, like a drawer stuffed with plastic bags. A man of the house screws lids off jars with his Y chromosome. Every house needs a man, you see, manliness you should hone. Now pull your socks up, son, moss can't grow on a rolling stone, as if a 7-year-old's strength could be a pillar to her home. You might think, man of the house, well, this will make the best of me. But hold your horses, son, this house is in negative equity. Now, get on manning up, young boy, you're hardly houseman pedigree. Your mum's sick in the head, you see, but I hope it's not hereditary. She's not in great nick, they told him. Step up, they implored. She's had to spend some time inside a psychiatric ward. Her words illuminated by gaslight to thee two she adored, despite her devotion persisting since they cut umbilical cords. She'd retired from teaching early, but never ceased to be a teacher. She reached all learning outcomes despite veering from procedure. Things tidy not, but defying odds brought 2 kids through the ether. The thankless tasks them 2 kids brought, no grim task was beneath her. Changing the oil in a car, refelting a leaky roof, safely chopping down a tree, she taught him in his youth. She'd watch on with discernment when he got too big for his boots, and when necessary, she'd knock him down a peg or two, like when at 14, she drove round to pick him up off his paper round after he'd passed out and projectile vomited down a cul-de-sac after an evening of underage drinking. She said nothing, leaving it to him to shout that he was reaping what he'd sowed. But when at 24, he arrived back home and boastfully showed a picture of his new girlfriend on his phone. And she said, "Bloody hell, Rob, has she got a guide dog?" Facebook market charity shop finds keep her heart a boon. Massive white elephants are filling all her rooms, but these white elephants are gifts to friends, not useless heirlooms. 30 years ago, she played guitar to him inside her womb. But him, his masculine quest sequestered not. He yearned to manly summit. He found a manly task to do, but she'd already done it. He read about how men won bread, but she'd already won it. The web that kept them safe, it was his mother who had spun it. Man of the house, eh? This supposed role superfluous. There was no needed plan. Against the toils that followed, it was her who had the upper hand. The ignorant around them, they just didn't understand. For with his mother holding fort, their house, it didn't need no man. Thank you very much, my friends. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring on the next act. Let's give a huge round of applause as he does come spotlight. Bear with me just a slight set. Attila, the stockbroker. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Oi.
It's been good. It's been great. I've very much. Well done to Robert for organising it all as well. I'm not going to do 15 because it's overrun a bit, and I'm not quite sure what's going on later on. I'll start off with my well, basically very, very topical coronavirus rap, really. Self-explanatory. It's called Coronation. This little rap's here to inspire us not to get coronavirus. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, they don't want coronavirus. It's a disease coming on the breeze, and none of us would like it, please. It's a disease coming on the breeze. Piss off, Trump. It's not Chinese. Bloody hell. It's a pandemic running through the world at a rate systemic. Let me spell out my position. I'm 62 with a lung condition. Let's all work hard to avoid it till researchers have destroyed it. Don't get cranky. Don't be a fogey. Use that hanky. Bin that bogey. This little rap's here to inspire us not to get coronavirus. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, they don't want coronavirus. It's a disease coming on the breeze, and none of us would like it, please. It's a disease coming on the breeze. Piss off, Trump. It's not Chinese. Please be kind and give assistance. Always do it at a distance. Get your normal shopping done. There's enough for everyone. Panic buying stupid caper. Put back all that toilet paper. What a crappy shit idea. Local pub delivers beer. This little rap's here to inspire us not to get coronavirus. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, they don't want coronavirus. It's a disease coming on the breeze, and none of us would like it, please. It's a disease coming on the breeze. Piss off, Trump. It's not Chinese. New dance called the Pontius Pilate. Told me all learned to freestyle it. Water, hands, and a bar of soap, cleaner than a microscope. No, don't scratch your dirty bridge, then go down and raid the fridge. Please keep safe. Please keep well. Coronavirus, go to hell. Cheers. That's my first one. Everyone's clapping. It's fine. It's cool. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for listening. Yeah, this one I wrote yesterday. I probably ought to read it, even though I probably remember it by now. It's called Stay Alert. Self-evident, really. Stay alert. It's huge and fat with a flick knife and baseball bat. Stay alert, like a pink thistle. An album cover by Throbbing Gristle. Stay alert. It's got a willy, waves it around, looks rather silly, but don't be fooled. Those pink spikes hurt, so keep your eyes peeled. Stay alert. What a ridiculous slogan to use for a virus. Honestly, that is just mind-boggling. Anyway, there you go. Now, something completely different again. This is for anybody who hasn't, in the midst of all this nightmare, well, basically anybody who's got someone that they care about, but they haven't told them, or anybody who's had a row with somebody that they care about and hasn't made up, and anybody who's had a long period of not getting on with somebody who they think maybe they ought to get on with better. It's time to do it, because you don't know what's going to happen next now. This is a true story. It's dedicated to my stepfather. It's called Never Too Late. My father died when I was 10. And when she dried her tears, Mum met you in the choir. She'd known of you for years. I was so pleased when she told me that she would be your wife. And I looked forward happily to a new man in my life. But you were the classical singer who thought rock and roll was junk. And I was the Boland boogie boy who soon became a punk. You were the civil servant for whom everything had its place. And I was the left-wing activist, out there and in your face. Yes, you were the head of the household, and I was the stroppy kid. We wound each other up for sure. We flipped each other's lids. So later, we both learned too much, and something new began. And here's a poem I wrote for you, you decent gentleman. So I went off to my own life, left you and Mum to yours. A few words about football, then the sound of closing doors. But the passing of so many years gave us both time to reflect, and slowly, oh so slowly, we forged a new respect. When you were ill the first time and found it hard to walk, I'd take you to the hospital and we would sit and talk. It felt so right and normal, and it was such a shame that it had taken all this time. Both stubborn, both to blame, because you were the head of the household and I was the stroppy kid. We wound each other up for sure. We flipped each other's lid. But later, we both learned so much and something new began. And here's a poem I wrote for you. You simple, beating man. It's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late to say you love someone. If it wasn't too late for me and John, it's never too late for anyone. Cheers. Okay, here's a bit of grime for you. I'm 62, I'm from West Sussex. But that doesn't mean I can't do a bit of grime when I feel like it. It's about the spoken word scene. I mean, well done to Robert and everybody all around the country. Robert's just one out of loads of people, obviously. Well, not just Robert. I know it's a collective there. I mean, all around the country now, there's all these poetry groups and spoken word, you know, scenes, people doing stuff. It's fantastic. You know, it's just, well, when I started 40 years ago, there was literally nothing. The spoken word as a concept, I mean, spoken word was was people speaking words to each other. The concept of spoken word as a form of entertainment, like, you know, as distinct from comedy, or even comedy, so alternative comedy hardly got going. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I have seen the development of this scene, which we now call spoken word, from a time when, as I say, there really wasn't. There was, well, there was the great John Cooper Clarke, obviously. There was Lindsay Gracie Johnson. There were the beat poets. There was Patton McGoffin Henry. There were the American beat poets. You know, Gil Scott Heron, and obviously, you know, the Reggae Talk Over scene, which preceded that. But compared to now, there was nothing. So I started off, you know, there wasn't anything really. We were the ranting poets, so we were creating our own scene. And you know, it's great what's happened. So well done to everybody who's been involved in setting all these things up. You know, well done to well done to Robert, you know, for organising today. Well done all you lot. And congrats people to all around the country. So this is for all you lot. I wrote this for Stormzy actually, after he became the first ever spoken word artist to headline Glastonbury. It's called 40 Years in Rhyme. It's a bit of grime. Here we go. 40 years in rhyme, 36 full time, I'm still in my prime, life's been sublime. I could use some music, someone else can choose it, it was me flowing, he got it, won't refuse it. Maybe not the done thing, maybe it's a young thing. I don't chat no gun thing, no make him to un thing. I went to enlighten, represented Brighton. Now we're in the Premier League, who are we going to frighten? Mine's a southernmost, I'm from the Sussex coast. Hoser in the garden, centre bread is simply toast. Don't give me no cup of tea when I'm getting uppity. Beer is my cup of tea. High specific gravity, like the wind I'm blowing, like a river flowing. 40 years of knowing exactly where I'm going. 60 on the planet, spoken word I span it. Ranting verse I ran it. Seagull, not organic. Old punk on a new trip, not a special rude trip, not a distant new trip. Not a sniffing glue chip, checking out fresh styles, bringing tears and smiles from the Outer Hebrides to the Seven Dials. Beer I like it hoppy, verse I like it stroppy. Sometimes I get personal, but I don't like it soppy. I remember Brother D. Grandmaster was legendary, but Uroy was the first to show. Toaster started off this flow, ranting verse, reggae chat, hip-hop, grime and all of that. We're simply spoken word, voices shouting to be heard. Respect to my fellow man from Cooper Clarke to Yellow Man, Stormzy, Tempest and Luke Wright. Spoken word is doing all right. When I began, there was no scene. Looking back on all the speed, 40 years of chatting rhyme, having a fantastic time. Cheers. And cheers, everybody. Cheers. Well done. Well done. As I say, we are overrunning. It is a particular bugbear of mine because I run stuff and I've done so many gigs where I mean, I've no idea what's happening afterwards. So I'll just do one more. But well done for all of this. And oh yeah, and obviously, I mean, I will say one more thing. I mean, obviously I know about a chestnut tree up there. My one is Shore and Food Bank, the charity, which is for, I mean, on the Sussex coast, you know, we, like everywhere, we have quite a lot of people that really need support in this terrible time. All the gigs I'm doing have been a fundraiser at the moment. I'm in a fortunate position. I'm 62, I've been doing this for 40 years. I can go for a few months without too much of an income, and I'm supposed to be getting some money from the self-employed scheme since I've been paying my tax for 38 years. So all the gigs I'm doing are fundraisers, and the fundraising page is on there. So donate to the Manchester one. Obviously, if you feel like donating 2 hours, you're very welcome. So I'm going to do one more, and I've got a helper. There's my helper. There we go. So this is this is called Asylum Seeking Daleks, and it's well, it's about asylum seeking Daleks and anti-racism and bigots and all the people that are coming out of the woodwork now. You know, on the one hand saying, oh, we don't want all these immigrants coming in doing these jobs, you know, digging up these potatoes. But oh no, we're not going to dig up potatoes. No, we're not going to do that because we're 75 and we read the Daily Mail. Yeah, sure. Okay, here we go. They claim their planet's dying. that soon it's going to blow. And so they're coming here. They said they've nowhere else to go with their strange computer voices and their one eye on a pole. They're moving in next door and then they're signing on the dole. Asylum-seeking Daleks are landing here at noon. Why can't we simply send them back or stick them on the moon? It says here in the Daily Mail they're coming here to stay. The loony lefties let them in. The middle class will pay. They claim that they're not terrorists. That doesn't wash with me. The last time I saw one, I hid weeks behind the settee. Good Lord, they're pink with purple bumps. There's photos of them here, not just extraterrestrial. The bloody things are queer. Yes, homosexual Daleks. And they're sponging off the state with huge Arts Council grants to teach delinquents how to skate. It's all there in the paper. I better tell the wife, for soon they will. Our British way of life. This satire on crass ignorance and tabloid fostered fear is at an end. Now let me give one message loud and clear. Golf course, shop floor or EDL. Smash bigotry and hate. Asylum seekers, welcome here. You racists, emigrate. Cheers. Thanks very much. Well done to... Well done, Robert. Well done, everybody. And as I say, I'll support the food bank if you feel like it, or support one or the other of them. Please do, and I'll hand over to Robert to introduce I think the final act. Is it Sarah? So thanks for having me, and I shall listen to the end. I've enjoyed it very much, and all the best. See you soon.
Oh, thank you so much. What an absolute honour. What an absolute honour to have the incredible Attila the Stockbroker on this evening. Absolute. John, thank you so much. Great pleasure to have you on board this evening. What a storming set. I loved every little bit. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. As John mentioned, every gig that he's done since the lockdown has been a fundraiser. He's been raising money for the Shoreham Food Bank. I've posted the link to his Just Giving page just in the chat. It's also on our Facebook page. Please do go down and drop whatever you can on Just Giving if you're able to. Please do. Similarly with Mustard Tree Homelessness Charity, we've been raising money for them for 3 years. Please give whatever you can. I know times are tough, but times are particularly tough for those without security network and everything around them. So it's all the more important that we donate to charities like this. Thank you once again, John. Attila the Stockbroker, what a great pleasure to have a legend of the spoken word scene on this evening. My friends, I'm going to waste no time in bringing on our last act of the evening. Rose Kondo is from Canada. She emigrated to the United Kingdom and was nominated for a Saboteur Award for her last show, and is nominated once again for an award for her current show, The Empathy Experiment. Voting closes in 1 hour and 58 minutes time. So please go on and give Rose a vote. She's absolutely spellbinding. She's been brilliant every time we've had Rose on at Pumpkin Drublic. I can't wait till this lockdown is finished to go and have a knees up with her and her partner, Kieran King. Rose, I'm very excited to have you on. I'm just going to find your video and spotlight you. Thank you so much for performing for us. You, our audience on Zoom and on YouTube, have been utterly marvellous. I hope you've all had a good evening. I'm going to pass over to our closing act for the evening, the wonderful Rose Kondo. Let's raise the fucking roof for Rose.
Yay, Rose Kondo!
One moment, Rose. I'm going to unmute you. 1 sec. There we go.
Hello. It's a Canadian in Salford who may or may not be wearing a bra. It is really lovely to be with you all. What an immense evening this has been. Give me a wave if anyone here is from Virden, Manitoba. Just me. Okay, yes, I grew up in Virden, Manitoba, where among the many things it was famous for, which aren't that many, the drinking water was yellow. And so it's been an interesting thing living in different parts of the world and how water tastes different in the different places that we go to. And actually, it reminds me of this rumor that I once heard that every cup of water that you drink from kitchen taps in your sink has already passed through 7 other bodies before you. 7, only 7. I reckon it's got to be so many more. When you think of all the beings and bodies that have come before, think how long we've been sharing this water for. It's not like some new water arrived from an orbital website, shipped direct overnight, ready to be pumped in at first light through my tap and into my kettle for my tea to flow through me for the very first time. No, the water we've got is the water we've always had. Oh, the stories our water could tell us. I bet it would be glad to regale us with tales about the way it's shaped our spaces and places on Earth, about the countless times it's broken for birth. I bet it's also a bit mad, having been dammed up and jammed up and filtered and fouled up, forbidden to flow exactly where it wanted to go. I mean, look, forget the history books. These millions and billions of mysterious memory-filled molecules that flow through me and all of you hold within them the whole history of the world. The whole history of this big old lump of land on which we now stand. Of course, it must have had its source from which it first sprang forth. I've heard tell of a tale told by sages who swear it all started with this one creative lady out there who one day found herself holding this big dry lump of land in her hands. She looked at it and she thought, what am I going to do with what I now hold? And she decided to roll and mold it into a ball, thinking, I'm going to make this a place for all kinds of creatures and beings to grow and live. I'll press my thumb here and here to give it space for lakes, and I'll trace my fingers along here for fine flowing rivers, and I'll give her a bit of a squeeze to make room for oceans and seas. And by this point, that lump of land in her hands looked like a wadded up bundle of trash. And the sight of this made her laugh, thinking, what on earth have I just done? And she laughed so hard that tears upon tears began to run down her face and onto the lump in her hands, falling into the places she'd pressed into the land. Fresh and cool, her tears, they pooled for a moment and then trickled and gushed and surged and streamed, bringing life to this lump in blues and greens. Happy with her work and the water that she'd made flow, she stepped back, wished it well, and she let go. So for my second piece, I am going to share a piece from the show that Robert mentioned. It's my show, The Empathy Experiment, which, yes, has been shortlisted for a Saboteur Award. So yeah, if you've got time in the last hour and 53 minutes of the voting period, chuck a vote my way. Vote for Pumpkin Drublic, vote for Flapjack, vote for Dom, who actually dramaturged this show. Yeah, so the show is basically an experiment to see if we all put our mobile devices away for one day each year, could we like cultivate a bit more empathy in the world? It's a little bit hard to fathom not using my phone for a day right now in lockdown, but I'm hoping that the ideas of this show kind of trickle out and take root in life beyond where we are now. So I'm going to share a piece from the show. I did a survey to research what other people thought about empathy and mobile use. And one of the questions was asking people what they use their mobiles for. And the top answer I got back in my survey was Facebook. So this is my open letter to Facebook. Dear Facebook, are you wondering where I've been, what I've eaten, what I've liked, what I've loved, who I've seen? What has made me mad? What has made me laugh? What has made me sad, or what I photographed? Do you miss me? Do you even notice I've not posted recently? I bet you are bursting to tell me about invitations happening in the next few days, about events that friends are going to near me, about who is celebrating birthdays. I think I miss you. I remember when we first met back in 2007 during my MA studies. You were just starting out in the world. We became buddies. We just clicked. You helped me connect with friends old and new. I'd take a break from my books to check in with you to see who had poked me. or who had updated their relationship status as it's complicated. or who had written on my wall or had thrown a sheep at me. You were the best way to escape for a bit, a fun distraction. And it all feels so simple, so far away, so innocent, those early days. What happened? I know what happened. Somewhere along the way, I decided I was okay giving you my everything, which you gladly consumed. I trusted, I believed, I assumed you had my best interests at heart. Did you start out knowing you'd become a space that would replace face-to-face, that you'd become a tool used for spreading cruel views where the sender was removed from having to see how their message would land? And I don't understand how algorithms actually work or what cookies even really mean. And despite all that I have heard and seen about your manipulation, about your design to be addictive, about increases in my anxiety, I still crave your dopamine fixes. Why did you have to fuck things up in such a nasty way? And I can imagine what you'd say. What gives, Rose? You did this on your own. You chose your addiction to me on your laptop and phone. It's not my fault. Except that it is. You're not human. You were created by humans. You exist by design. And so the choice has to be mine to take a brain-breathing break every now and then, like now. So then, though my longing for you grows ever stronger, I'm going to stay signed off just a bit longer. Thank you very much. I have one more piece that I'm going to share with you. And yeah, if you want to find out a bit more about my work, you can find me online, rosecondo.net. I, as Robert mentioned earlier, have my first collection that I'm developing at the moment with Flapjack Press. So that should be out later in the year. Really, really excited about that. Yeah, just a huge thanks to Robert for putting this together. And I hope we're raising lots of money for the two organizations, and what a joy to be in the mix with so many creative people tonight. I miss seeing your actual faces, so this is a lovely alternative in the meantime. One of the last things I did before lockdown was visit a charity shop, and it was in London, and I bought a couple of really nice tops, and it was hilarious to me after I'd been trying on a bunch of stuff as I was leaving. The guy at the till was like, "Would you like some anti-bac?" And I was kind of like, yeah, I sort of feel like I want to wipe it all over myself, but I'm fine. But I really miss charity shopping. It's one of my favorite things to do, and it's always a bit hard to admit this, but like, okay, so I didn't wake up one day and say to myself, I'm going to rip off a charity shop. I'd simply wandered in one Saturday afternoon on one of those rare days when I had nothing else to do but sift my way through reams and reams of secondhand shirts and dresses and jeans. I found a few to try on, 2 or 3, pulled the faded paisley curtain across the corner of the shop that had opted to be the fitting room. The shirt had 2 unfortunately placed swirls. The dress didn't quite fit over the girls. Somewhat defeated, I tried on the jeans. If only you had been there to see how amazing this denim looked on me. From ass to ankle, from knee to hip, these jeans were a heavenly perfect fit. And I'll admit, I let my gaze linger at length over the figure I cut in the mirror. A bit like the narcissistic dog, but with denim and not a bone. And then out of the blue, my mobile phone rang out sharp and shrill from my bag on the floor. I answered, the voice was my landlord. Come home straight away, a pipe's burst in your flat. Shoving on my shoes, the call had snapped me out of my narcissistic gaze as I scrambled to run home in a panicked daze. It wasn't until hours upon hours later, after I'd rescued my sodden belongings and papers and mopped up the water that we'd managed to stop flow, that I decided to change out of my damp, soggy clothes. There, clinging to my calves and thighs, were these beautiful jeans, still the most perfect size. And then I realized I hadn't paid. I was a secondhand jeans thief. The guilt The grief set my soul churning, left me tossing and turning all that night. I needed to return the jeans and set things right. The next day was Sunday, which meant the shop would be shut, but that gave me plenty of time to rehearse my explanation and apology line. However, by the time Monday rolled around, I found I'd actually started to lose my nerve. And then it actually began to occur to me that I'd not technically stolen from a charity shop. What I'd done was technically more of a swap. There was still a perfectly wearable pair of jeans that were slightly worn and mostly clean that I'd left on the floor as I'd rushed out in dread. The charity shop could sell those jeans instead. See, it's fine. No theft. Everyone wins. Okay, I admit it is a bit thin, my justification I'd gained without offering profitization to an organization just trying to put the world to rights one secondhand sale at a time. But the thing is, these shops still have a bottom line and sales targets that they're supposed to hit. I mean, we have to admit, as much as we're all hell-bent on believing every single penny spent on the reams and reams of secondhand shirts and dresses and jeans goes directly into the pockets of those most in need, the thing is, these shops still feed into a corporate growth machine, which doesn't mean you should take off and not pay. But who's to say that maybe one day I don't have the means to pay money for a secondhand pair of jeans? No distracted phone call rushing me out of the shop, but a genuine need for a genuine swap. And who's to say that maybe one day we don't let money get in the way of making sure we all have the basics? I mean, face it, how many of us can honestly admit we absolutely need all of the shit piled high in our homes? If we all took a long, hard look at all the stuff that we've got and brought together all the stuff we're prepared to swap, then we could at least make sure everyone has what they need. We could maybe even start to feed the growth of a new, compassionate social order machine. And hell, you might even find your own pair of fantastically fitting jeans. Thank you very much.
Rose, do you want to do one more? I better unmute you, haven't I, if you are?
Sure. Okay, go on. So I made reference to them earlier. The girls are flying free because who wants to wear a bra right now, right? So yeah, I've had an interesting relationship with my breasts, but I have to say, I've recently made a couple of new friends. We hang out quite a lot. In fact, we spend every single day together and have done since I was about 13 when they first appeared on the scene. They've been around. And full disclosure, I have found I haven't always enjoyed their company, but over time, they've grown on me, literally, these two lumps of flesh on my chest. At this point, you may have done your best not to look directly at my breasts, but my guess is by now you've taken a look. They are there. There is no denying, though I've spent years trying. I've spent time deploring them. I've tried ignoring them. Each day I take, except for today, to storing them in fabric, elastic, plastic, and wire. And to be honest, I am tired of resenting that they are there. I want to be friends, bosom buddies. It's just sometimes they are frustrating and I don't get what's with my hating. According to the beauty rules written by controlling capitalist fools who determine I should feel my goal is some fantasy physical ideal, according to them, my rack is pretty great. Or should I more delicately state, they're a lovely shape, a proportional dimension. So what is with my bone of contention? It's just that, man, they get a lot of attention, even from those with the best of intentions. Eyes dart and drift downwards, unwittingly obsessed. Maybe those of us with breasts should put eyes on our chests and nipples on our faces to try to keep gazes in more suitable places. So is that it? My envy and ego that make me go, ladies, back off, like some internal breast assault. It's not their fault. They're not some independent entity aiming for my identity to be Rose. You know Rose with the boobs. And so as I move towards accepting that they're sticking around, not going anywhere, except over time, especially right now, closer to the ground, I found they actually need a lot of support. They're having an existential crisis, trying to determine their purpose on my human form, as a tiny human has not yet been born from my womb with infant lips to draw milk from them to drink their fill. And maybe they never will function to fulfill this role. And hopefully they never will grow lumps within lumps that make me ill. Still, I start to embrace them as much more than just objectified decor. They are part of me, have meaning as much as my hands, head, and heart. And I'm learning that I'm greater than just some of my parts.
What a way to close the evening, my good friends. That was absolutely marvellous. Thank you all so much for taking part. Let's do a bit of a roll call. Let's thank the wonderful Rose Kondo.
Rose Kondo!
Attila the stockbroker. Dominic Berry. Extraordinaire Sarah Louise Keegan. Let's thank the brilliant Darcy Silver. Let's thank the wonderful Steve Griffin. And let's thank the effervescent Mr. Eddie Hearn. That was absolutely more importantly than anything else. Please go and donate to
also thank Rob for setting this up. I got a bit grumpy about overrunning. It's just one of my things. My wife says she knows about that.
Don't worry. I know what it's like.
I run a festival and lots of gigs, and it's always been a sort of a thing. But well done.
Thank you so much, John. It's been fantastic, and it's been an honour to have you on. You've been absolutely wonderful, and it's all been for a great cause. Everyone who's watching, be it on YouTube, be it on please go and donate to Shore and Food Bank and donate to Mustard Trees Homelessness Charity. Also, in the 1 hour and 38 minutes we've got left before midnight, please go and vote for Pumpkin Drublic, vote for Rose Kondo's Empathy Experiment, vote for Dominic Berry for Best Performer, and vote for Flapjack Press in the Saboteur Awards. Just be nice to win an award, wouldn't it? I think we all need an ego boost. These are shit times. So there we go. You've all been absolutely wonderful. I'm going to finish by doing a brand new poem. Are we all right with that? Is that okay? All right. It's about things getting really rough, but it's got a message that I like to sort of take as a mantra. It's called The Bucket, in brackets, bite off more than you can chew. It goes like this. Bite off more than you can chew. And then just fucking chew it. Drop your paddle deep in shit creek and then just row right through it. Failure's your foul weather friend. Don't attempt to undo it. So I kiss its face and embrace gladly that this time you blew it. There's a bucket in your room. It's filled with shit. It stinks of shame. The urge to kick the bucket takes up all of your strength to refrain. You can stew amongst this stench or you can pour it down the drain. Just know that this storm, every storm, will run out of rain. So wait. Just wait. Let it throb while you abate. Know that you are just a visitor. You are not an inmate. Know that this is just their gambits. Know that this is not checkmate. You know you can't have the last laugh whilst your face is filled with hate. That bucket, it is gone now. You stood strong for no evasion. Last night your entourage of one summoned the strength of many nations. You saw how little is conceived through bitter tears and masturbation. Your soul's crannies and its nooks sustained a fierce fumigation. Now, Allow morning shards of light to stab you right square in the chest. Measure this day not in cigarettes, but in satisfied breaths. Measure this day not in dividends, but in yourself invest. And then at dawn track down your lover and lay your head upon their breast. Tonight you'll bask in the glorious gloom of your room or moonlit. Dispose of the gun, self-reconstruct, disassemble your doom kit. Drop your paddle deep in shit creek and then just row right through it. Bite off more than you can chew. And then just fucking chew it. Thank you all very much.
Yay, Robert!
Remember, tomorrow evening, the one thing that you can do that's better than applauding our healthcare workers, our nurses, our care workers, and our doctors is never fucking voting Tory. Food bank, and have a fantastic rest of your evening. Lots of love to you all. Thank you. You've all been fantastic. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lots of love.
Cheers.
That's wonderful, Rob. Absolutely brilliant. Superb. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Rose.
Thank you.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice one. Woo.
Good luck on Saturday.
Oh,
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks so much, folks. Have a good night.
Night, everyone. Woo.
Night.